Hello, magical people. It's been a minute. I wanted to show you guys some of the GenCon experience that I had a few weeks ago. It's totally not like, later and some would consider far too late, but I got a special thing here that makes it the perfect time to do one now. Also, hi Rachel. She's playing Sigma because he just came out, and I think it's hilarious that his projectile looked like moonballs. It's totally an Achievement Hunter reference. He's like, he's got his two moonballs that he's got in his hand just like floating around. I think it's hilarious. Don't judge me for my dumb joke. It's funny, okay? Okay. So, GenCon. The reason I went to GenCon was not for GenCon, but it's because I had tickets to go to the Critical Role live show, which was amazing and fun and awesome, especially since my mom sprang for VIP tickets. So, got some nice merch from that. Got the awesome metal dice. Got the Jester Deviant pin, or Variant pin, rather. And then, my favorite out of all of them, a real big D20. So those are really cool. The live show was freaking awesome, but we were just down there for that show, and we bought tickets for Saturday as well. But then we got down there Thursday night, and we're like, you know what? Let's go down Friday too. Why not? I mean, we're here, so let's go Friday as well. So, we also went Friday. I got tickets to meet the McElroys, and by the McElroys I mean Travis and Clint, because the other two were not in town. So I got some lovely signatures from them, in the way that I get signatures from anybody anytime I do something, and that is to have them make a custom Cards Against Humanity card. So the two that they signed, Travis signed My Butt, and Clint signed Always Casting Zone of Truth is blank. And in addition to that, I forgot one more thing about the Critical Role show. Part of the VIP package was something that's freaking awesome, and I can't wait to hang up somewhere as soon as I get a frame for it. It's a strange small size that's smaller than any of the frames I currently have, so I can't like repurpose a frame I have right now for it, but whatever. So I got this really cool signed print by all of them except for Yasha, because Ashley was not there, so that makes sense. So that was
them going through and like signing all of those too.
I mean, they were VIP ones, so there wasn't one for like everybody there.
Still, that's a hassle to go through and sign.
I agree.
70 posters.
I mean, 70's nothing if you look at some of the other people. Like some of the people who do Patreons, like Negri and everybody, who sign like what's gotta be hundreds or maybe even thousands a day or a month, Mm-hmm. So this was probably nothing compared to all that business. So that was Friday night, which was fun. Then I went to GenCon on Saturday. Got some awesome stuff. Got myself a little wormwood vault for my new malachite and pyrite dice from Level Up. I'm just showing off my merch, no big deal. I went to the booth of the guy I get my coins for my campaign, and told him about a little Easter egg for his coins in my campaign, because in the Aurum Empire, which is one of the 3 empires of my continent, one of the cities, the map of it is essentially just the back of the gold pieces, because not all, but most of the denominations of the gold pieces have the same design on the back. So I designed one of the cities, probably the capital city, to be where this is a map of that city. So I haven't decided if I want that to be the capital or to be like where most of the coinage is minted or something like that. So I got to talk to him, and he gave me like half of the plate of coins that I was getting for free, because I told him that. He's like, hey, write me a blog post and that all is free. I'm like, cool, and I got his contact, so that's cool. And then I also got the metal meeples from him, so that's nice. But I'd probably say the coolest part of the entire experience was on Saturday night when I went to the Cards Against Humanity Writers Room show. They have one going on Friday night and one on Saturday night. All the signatures are from the like improv artists that they had there, the improv troupe. And then I also got that poster. And then Max signed it really small over there on the side. Max Temkin, you know, the co-creator of that game, who was there. So Max and the two McElroys were there hosting, along with Kevin, who is one of the illustrators for Cards Against Humanity. We're hosting, and then they had an improv troupe. So the writer's room was incredibly fun. Afterwards, there was a signing. The McElroys couldn't stay for the signing, but I was like, okay, since I already got them to sign earlier today, I don't really care. So that's nice. But I got the signings. I got card signings from Kevin, who's apparently like super good at drawing 90s cartoons. So I'm like, hey, can you draw them for me, Double D? Because I've been really attaching to that character as of recent, because Double D was... I put together a cosplay of Double D, and I've been using him a lot in my TikToks, which are blowing the heck up, you know, after being on YouTube for years and years and years. After making one day of content on TikTok, I have, like, double the subscribers that I ever had on this channel, so that's fun. So look me up on TikTok. Same name as my gaming channel, Zombie Chris. I'm moving the camera around a lot, but that's okay. So after the show and the signing, I got signatures from Max and Kevin. Who else did I get signings for? Oh, and I also got some signings from Jenny D and a lot of the Wormwood guys on these cards. But fun story about that, about the signing. The guy in front of me who was getting something signed by Max, they were doing a card trick together, because apparently Max has been picking up Magic for the past year or two or so. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 years, but whatever. And Max asked the guy in front of me to shuffle a deck of cards. And the poor man didn't know how, so he started like doing the thing where he puts it all on the table and mixes it around. And I'm sitting there next to him like, you know, let me help. So I start mixing them around, and then I pick them all up, and then start doing my flourishing. And Max is like, oh, okay. And then after I get my poster signed and my card signed, he's like, hey, you want to hang out after this? I go, yes. Make friends with the co-creator of Cards Against Humanity? Yeah? So after the signing, Max took me and then another magician who was also in line, who just, you know, happened to show Max a trick or something, I don't know, were invited to this, like, private party upstairs, which was the Quiet GenCon, or the Quiet GenCon party with ample seating and unlimited free water. So, I mean, Cards Against Humanity had rented out that the Scottish Cathedral, and apparently were having their own little game developers secret GenCon thing, where there was like games that were not even close to being released there, all that sort of stuff. And it honestly felt like I was in a movie there for a bit, because there was like a jazz band, and, you know, when we got there, the person who was, you know, checking off names at the door or whatever was like, we're already at Fire Code, you can't let anyone else in. And Max is like, hey, I met a few new friends, let them in. So it really, really, really felt like I was in a movie or something for a minute. And it was just amazing. And there was like foods there that I couldn't identify. Like, it looked like it was like some sort of red fruit that I'm guessing was dragon fruit, but might have not been, with some like, I don't know, like fancy hors d'oeuvres that I couldn't place.
He's taking me next year so I can identify the food for him.
Yeah, because I'm totally gonna get invited to that next year.
You have his personal contact. I think he'll be fine.
We'll see. I hope so. Like, I really do hope so. That's just me doubting that I'll ever get an opportunity like that again. But Max did say, hey, let's like get brunch or something next year for Gen Con. And I'm like, okay. Oh, I have another prop over here for this vlog that I forgot to mention. I also went to the Exploding Kittens booth. And they had like this thing where it was like, hey, pay $1 for a random gift. And I did that. And then out of the little slot, I see one toilet paper square. And I grab it and start pulling, and then I unravel an entire roll of toilet paper, and then they just take the roll and just throw it out at me, and then just throw out the bottom a plunger. So now thankfully I'm smart enough at conventions after having been to RTX and Planet enough times to have a little backpack. So I'm just carrying this around in my backpack now. Paid $1 for a roll of toilet paper and a plunger. I'd call that a bonus. So at the quiet GenCon thing, the only game that was actually completed there was Throw Burrito, where I demoed the game, met some of the creators, etc. And he's like, "Hey, I'm happy you're enthusiastic about this game. Do you want a copy?" It's like, yes. So I got the merch, or the swag, I guess is what you would call it. Or he just handed it to me. And the other magician who I was hanging out with him and his wife, I think his name was Patrick and his name was Crystal or something like that, but I was just hanging out with them doing this. And the gentleman who offered me his contact information was like, "Hey, you're going to Gen Con tomorrow, right?" The other two of them said yes, and he goes, "So go by the Exploding Kittens booth. I'll recognize you from like the pins they were handing out at this event. And the random thing you'll get is a copy of this game." And I'm like, "I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going home after this. Sorry." And he just hands me his business card. He says, "Okay, just email me." So I did. And then he's like, "Hey, what's your mailing address?" And cool. Free copy of Throw Burrito. So that was my Gen Con experience. It was a lot of fun, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It really felt like a movie, and I had an amazing time.
And I was stuck here all weekend. With the baby.
What did you do while I was at Gen Con?
Slept. Fair stuff.
Valid.
Fair stuff.
So, having played Sigma after he just came out a little bit, what's your first thoughts?
I don't like it.
You don't like him?
No.
Why not?
You gotta be... It's a think, thought, play, not a
just reaction, do.
Yeah.
You gotta actually think about what you're doing. I saw... You started on... Which map was that? Hanamura?
Yeah.
You started on Hanamura, and he's got this deployable shield that can just go however far you want it to, up to a certain amount. And she was on the attack, and threw that shield up to that little window overlook that the defense would usually attack you at from up high, and she just like threw the shield up there and completely stopped a Junkrat and a Widowmaker who were using that as a vantage point. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
rip. So yeah, I think Sigma's pretty cool so far. I mean, I haven't played him yet, and I'm about to. But yeah. So I start school tomorrow. I've been at work for a week preparing, and the kids come back tomorrow.
I start next week.
You start next week. And then and a half?
And a
Because
half.
you are a para now in the same school district that I work at, and I'm so proud of you. You're a para at one of the elementary schools, and I'm not a para. I'm a teacher at high school.
No, he's a para.
I'm a para.
He's downgraded to a
Totally
para.
a para. You say downgraded?
Downgraded.
Your job's important.
It is important, but you know, I wouldn't have a job if you didn't have a job. Like,
What?
I have to have teachers in order to
Oh,
do what I do. I'm not teaching, unfortunately.
that's fair.
Even though that's what everyone thinks I do.
So yeah. Fun times. Cookie, what do you have to say about it? Does your paw taste good? Cookie. Hi, baby. Look at this. Look at the camera.
She chewed. Stop chewing on your paw on video.
Yes, Cookie baby. That's your good girl.
Spoiled girl.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've got. That was Gen Con. That's what I've got right now. Thank you all for watching me, my magical self, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. So I didn't say this earlier because I wasn't sure, but I just checked, and this game's not for sale yet. The Kickstarter says they're supposed to be delivered around September. And it's
around
August.
September.
It's August.
It's about 2 weeks. Ouch. Till September.
Yeah, so I got this product a month early.
You
Yay!
didn't pay for it.
Sorry, Kickstarter backers.